A Nurse Allied Health Profession Job School Introduction. I cover job ideas and schools for 100 plus nursing specialties, the allied health professions, holistic medicine, medical technician jobs, medical devices and products, genetics, medical administration and geriatrics, old people. I cover medical doctor, the dental and pharmacy professions in another book. There is more info in my other medical books. One is a basic framework of medicine in the United States. Another is the medical infrastructure of the world. I created a book for cancer and one for holistic medicine. I also created a book that lists medical organization and hospital websites called A World Medical Dental Pharmacy Organization Hospital Website Guide. Many allied health skills take relatively little time to learn, less than 2 years. You can generally get a job just about anywhere because healthcare is the biggest industry right now that is getting bigger all the time. The pay is good for work expended and you can generally work odd shifts if you want, like weekends, part-time, night shift, etc. There are opportunities besides hospitals, medical clinics, and nursing homes. Consider all the medical products and drug companies as well as the government health agencies, USA.gov, healthfinder.gov, CDC.gov, NIH.gov, FDA.gov, plus the big organizations like the American Medical Association. The health insurance field is worth multi-billions of dollars a year. They need administrators to process the claims and look for fraud. A friend of mine went the tedious route to become a board-certified plastic surgeon and told me if he had to do it all over again, he would have become a radiology tech and lived a much easier life because all they do is set patients up on an X-ray machine then take pictures, a clean, easy job, no hassles from the patients and no malpractice threats. Another friend of mine became an emergency medical technician, got a job in a small rural medical clinic and worked 3 12-hour shifts overnight during the weekends, so that was his full-time job, 3 nights a week. I read an article about a physician's assistant. It took about 2 years to get the credential. He helps a doctor and walks around the hospital with a stethoscope around his neck with the status of a full doctor. If you're uncertain about what to do with your life, get a healthcare skill by taking an allied health profession program at a vocational school or community college for a year or 2, then get a job and contemplate other things you're interested in while living a comfortable lifestyle, unlike many of the starving artists, bums and hippies who don't have a solid profession to fall back on. This is the way to go without becoming a doctor. Some people like to be doctors because of the high status anywhere, especially in a hospital, but I met a country doctor once who gave me a few stitches while telling me it's a thankless job because everybody wants something from you. You deal with people at their hardest times when they're sick or injured. Nobody talks about the emotional cost of dealing with people. Some people are too empathetic or too sensitive. If you're a lonely nerd who wants to feel needed, by all means be a medical worker, but if you want to enjoy your life, it's a job for workaholics. The reason is that the need never ends. As a medical technician, you do not have the responsibility a doctor might have. You do one simple task and that's it. In a hospital, you can be a nurse dealing with the patients or down the basement in the CAT scan lab, running less than people a day since every CAT scan takes at least 40 minutes. There will be more care workers needed for old people and end-of-life treatments. Technology will bring forth new machines that will need operators called medical technicians. Robotic surgery is here. Nanotechnology, genetic improvement, transhumanism, improving people, and bionics, artificial parts, are all here. A list of medical careers at differentmedicalcareers.com/list-of-medical-careers is: paramedic, activity therapist, admitting clerk, alternative health care, alternative medicine, anatomy and physiology, anesthesiologist, anesthesiologist assistant, applied researcher, art therapist, athletic trainer, audiologist, biochemist, bioengineer, bioinformatics associate, bioinformatics scientist, bioinformatics specialist, biomedical chemist, biomedical science, Biomedical/clinical engineer. Biomedical/clinical technician. Biostatistician. Biotechnology research. Blood bank tech. Cardiology. Cardiovascular. Cardiovascular technician. Cardiovascular technologist. Cell biologist. Certified nursing assistant. Chiropractic/chiropractor. Clinical lab science. Clinical lab technician. Clinical trials research associate. Clinical trials research coordinator. Community services specialist. Computer tomography, CT, technologist. Cytogenetic technologist. Cytotechnologist. Dance therapist. Data analyst. Dental assistant. Dental hygienist. Dental lab technician. Dentist. Diagnostic medical sonographer/ultrasound. Diagnostic medical ultrasound. Dietitians and nutritionists. Dosimetrist. EKG technician. Electrocardiographic, ECG, technician. Electroneurodiagnostic tech. Electronic diagnostic, EEG, technologist. Emergency medical technician/EMT. EMTs and paramedics. Environmental health and safety. Environmental services. Epidemiologist. Ethicist. Exercise physiologist. Fitness. Food service. Forensic medicine. Forensic nursing. Geneticist. Gerontology. Health educator. Health information administration. Health information coder. Health information services. Health information technology. Health service administration. Healthcare administration. Healthcare management. Histologic tech. Histotechnician. Histotechnologist. Home health aide. Home health and personal care aides. Hospital administrator. Hospital maintenance engineer. Industrial hygienist. Kinesiotherapist. Lab assistant. Lab technician. Licensed practical nurse. Licensed practical nurse and limited vocation nurse. Magnetic resonance, MR, technologist. Mammographer. Massage therapist. Materials management. Medical administration. Medical assistant. Medical billing. Medical billing and coding. Medical coder. Medical engineering. Medical illustrator. Medical information technologist. Medical insurance. Medical laboratory scientists. Medical laboratory technologist. Medical librarian. Medical office. Medical photographer. Medical planning. Medical records and health information technicians. Medical research scientist. Medical school. Medical science. Medical technician. Medical technologist/clinical laboratory scientist. Medical transcription. Mental health. Microbiologist. Molecular biologist. Mortician. Music therapist. Natural health/natural medicine. Nuclear medicine technician. Nuclear medicine technologist. Nurse. Nursing aides, orderlies, and attendants. Nutritionist. Occupational health and safety specialists. Occupational health and safety technicians. Occupational therapist/assistant. Occupational therapy assistants and aides. Ophthalmic medical personnel. Ophthalmic assistant. Ophthalmic technician. Opticians, dispensing. Optometrist. Orthotists and prosthetists. Paramedic. Pathologist. Pathology assistant. Patient advocate. Patient financial services. Patient representative. Pediatric nurse. Perfusionist, blood flow. Pharmaceutical scientist. Pharmacist. Pharmacy technician. Phlebotomist. Physical therapist. Physical therapist assistants and aids. Physician. Physician assistant. Physicians and surgeons. Podiatrists. Positron emission tomography, PET, technologist. Psychiatric technicians and aides. Psychologist. Psychology. Public health. Public health educator. Quality assurance technician. Quality control technician. Radiation therapist. Radiation therapy technician. Radiologic technologist/radiographer. Radiologist. Recreation therapist. Registered nurse. Regulatory affairs specialist. Reimbursement specialist. Research assistant. Research associate. Research scientist. Respiratory therapist. Risk management. Social worker. Sonographer. Specialist in blood bank technology. Speech-language pathologist. Sports medicine. Surgeon's assistant. Surgical technician. Toxicologist. Transcriptionist. Transport technician. Ultrasound technician. Unit coordinator. Utilization manager. Veterinarian. Veterinarian technician. X-ray technician. The Occupational Outlook Handbook does a good job of describing careers at bls.gov/oco. Try number 610.69 at the library or R690.D35 of the Library of Congress system. bls.gov/ooh/healthcare/home.hdm. medicalcareersguide.com. The 141 volumes are as follows. Volume 1. A Nurse Career Guide. Volume 2. A Nursing Blog Guide. Volume 3. A Nursing Education School Guide. Volume 4. A Nurse Job Website Guide. Volume 5. A Nurse Job Website Guide by U.S. State. Volume 6. A World Nurse Job Guide. Volume 7. A Canada Nurse Job Guide. Volume 8. A Specific Nurse Category Job Guide 1. Volume 9. A Specific Nurse Category Job Guide 2. Volume 10. A Specific Nurse Category Job Guide 3. Volume 11. A Specific Nurse Category Job Guide 4. Volume 12. A Nursing License Guide. Volume 13. Nursing Associations and Boards by U.S. State. Volume 14. A Nursing Board Guide for U.S. and Canada. Volume 15. U.S. State and Local Nursing Associations and Organizations. Volume 16. A Nurse Organization Guide. Volume 17. A Nursing Organization Guide from the agapecentercom/organizations/nursing.hdm. Volume 18. A Specialty Nursing Organization Guide from the DED website agapecentercom/organizations/specialties/index.hdm. Volume 19. An Obstetrics Gynecology Neonatal Nurse Career Guide. Volume 20. A Medical Career Exploration Guide. Volume 21. A Medical Career Exploration Website Guide. Volume 22. A Medical Job Guide 1. Volume 23. A Medical Job Guide 2. Volume 24. A Medical Job Guide 3. Volume 25. A Medical Job Guide 4. Volume 26. A Medical Job Guide 5. Volume 27. A Medical Job Guide 6. Volume 28. A Medical Job Website Guide 1. Volume 29. A Medical Job Website Guide 2. Volume 30. A Medical Job Website Guide 3. Volume 31. Medical Job Websites for Canada, US, and the World. Volume 32. A Medical Job Website Guide at DMOZ/health/medicine/employment and DMOZ/business/healthcare/employment. Volume 33. A Health Profession Website Guide. Volume 34. A U.S. job website guide by state at career profiles info, general, med, ed, and government jobs. Volume 35. Use this Find a Doctor Hospital Clinic Healer Guide to find jobs. Volume 36. A Medical Profession Job Guide 1. Volume 37. A Medical Profession Job Guide 2. Volume 38. A Medical Profession Job Guide 3. Volume 39. A Medical Profession Job Guide 4. Volume 40. A Medical Profession Guide at explorehealthcareers.org 1. Volume 41. A Medical Profession Guide at explorehealthcareers.org 2. Volume 42. An Allied Health Job Guide 1. Volume 43. An Allied Health Job Guide 2. Volume 44. An Allied Health Profession Guide at explorehealthcareers.org. Volume 45. An Allied Health Profession Guide at careercornerstone.org. Volume 46. A Healthcare Administration Management Career Guide. Volume 47. A Healthcare Management Career Guide. Volume 48. A Medical Administration Career Guide. Volume 49. A Specific Medical Administration Job Guide. Volume 50. Self-Employment in the Health Industry. Volume 51. A Medical Science Technical Writer Guide. Volume 52. An Emergency Medical Technician, EMT, Paramedic Job Guide. Volume 53. An EMT/Paramedic Guide. Volume 54. A U.S. Emergency Medical Services Paramedic School Program Guide. Volume 55. An Emergency Service EMT Organization Website Guide. Volume 56. Emergency Service EMT Organizations by U.S. State and Canadian Province. Volume 57. A Medical Equipment/Device, MedTech, Job Industry Guide. Volume 58. A Medical Pharmaceutical Sales Guide. Volume 59. A Podiatry Foot Health Job School Guide. Volume 60. A Public Health Job School Organization Guide. Volume 61. An Orthotics and Prosthetics Career Guide. Volume 62. A Nutrition Job School Knowledge Guide. Volume 63. A Lab Tech Research Job School Guide. Volume 64. A Medical Crime Investigation Forensic Science Job School Guide. Volume 65. A Bioscience Biotechnology Job Guide. Volume 66. A Radiology/Nuclear Medicine Career Guide. Volume 67. A Medical Technician Technologist Career Guide. Volume 68. An Obscure Medical Job Guide. Volume 69. Lists of medical specialty websites at blog.feedspot.com/category/medical-specialties. Volume 70. Lists of healthcare occupation websites at blog.feedspot.com/category/health-care-occupations. Volume 71. An iHealth Career Guide. Volume 72. An iCare Career School Guide. Volume 73. An iOrganization Guide from the dead website theagapecenter.com/organizations/eyes-optical.htm. Volume 74. A Holistic Natural Medicine Career Guide. Volume 75. 6 Holistic Careers, Acupuncture, Aromatherapy, Biofeedback, Hypnotherapy, Kinesiology, Yoga. Volume 76. A Canada Holistic Career Guide. Volume 77. A Chiropractic Holistic Back Doctor Career Guide. Volume 78. A Holistic Birth, Midwife, Breastfeeding Aftercare, Doula, Career Guide. Volume 79. A Holistic Medicine Education School Guide. Volume 80. A Massage Job School Guide. Volume 81. A Medical License Guide. Volume 82. A Medical Residency Guide to find medical jobs. Volume 83. A Medical Company Guide, mostly equipment and devices. Volume 84. A Medical Company Guide. Volume 85. A Medical Dental Pharmacy Company Guide. Volume 86. A Minority Demographic Medical Guide to Generate Job Leads. Volume 87. A Diversity Medical Job Guide. Volume 88. A World Medical Job Guide. Volume 89. A Medical NGO Guide. Volume 90. A Medical Charity Guide. Volume 91. Medical NGOs from the Dead website, the Agape Center Foundations. Volume 92. Medical NGOs by U.S. State. Volume 93. A World Nonprofit Medical Job and Volunteer Guide. Volume 94. A Medical Research NGO Guide. Volume 95. A Canada Medical Job Guide. Volume 96. A UK Medical Job Guide. Volume 97. A Medical Event Conference Guide. Volume 98. Medical Education and Knowledge for Medical Students and Professionals. Volume 99. A Continuing Medical Education Guide for Medical Professionals. Volume 100. A Medical School Guide and Money Help Before You Ever Go. Volume 101. A Medical School Guide for Students and Others Looking for Free Medical Knowledge. Volume 102. Finish medical school, take the exam, get licensed, find a residency. Volume 103. A U.S. Canada Medical School Guide. Volume 104. U.S. Med Schools by State, Canada Med Schools by Province. Volume 105. A U.S. Osteopathic Medical School Guide by State. Volume 106. A World Medical School Guide from IFMSA and FAMER. Volume 107. A World Medical School Guide. Volume 108. A Medical School Guide for Some Medical Careers 1. Volume 109. A Medical School Guide for Some Medical Careers 2. Volume 110. Medical Career School Websites from DMAS ODP. Volume 111. An Online and Real-Life Medical Career School Guide. Volume 112. A Physician's Assistant School Guide by U.S. State. Volume 113. Occupational Therapy Education Programs in the United States by State. Volume 114. Physical Therapy Programs and Organizations by U.S. State. Volume 115. A Radiology Tech Ultrasound Tech School and Organization Guide. Volume 116. A Medical Assistant Job School Organization Guide. Volume 117. A Medical Billing Coding Job School Organization Guide. Volume 118. A Medical Administration School Organization Guide. Volume 119. A Health Physical Education Medical School Teacher Educator Guide. Volume 120. A Medical Profession School Guide 1. Volume 121. A Medical Profession School Guide 2. Volume 122. College Members of the Association of Schools Advancing Health Professions. Volume 123. Accredited Health Education Programs at Non-Accredited Institutions by U.S. State. Volume 124. A List of Health Medical Science Schools in the U.S. by State. Volume 125. A List of Schools by Field at the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, ABHES. Volume 126. A List of all schools at the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, ABHES. Volume 127. Accredited Schools Line has 10+ lists of health schools by field. Volume 128. A list of cardiovascular technology schools/programs in the U.S. by state. Volume 129. Cytotechnology schools/programs in the United States by state. Volume 130. Diagnostic medical sonography schools/programs in the U.S. by state. Volume 131. Exercise Science Schools/Programs in the U.S. by State. Volume 132. Polysomnographic Technology Schools/Programs in the U.S. by State. Volume 133. Surgical Technology Schools/Programs in the U.S. by State. Volume 134. Education Programs by Field at the Commission on Accreditation of Allied Health Education, epub. Volume 135. Neurodiagnostic Technology Schools/Programs by U.S. State. Volume 136. Orthotist/Prosthetist Schools, Building Artificial Limbs, by U.S. State. Volume 137. Perfusion Schools by U.S. State, Passage of Liquid Through the Circulatory System. Volume 138. A Medical Career School Accrediting Agency and Organization Guide. Volume 139. A List of Health Schools by State from the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, ABHES. Volume 140. Medical Career Schools by State from the Commission on Accreditation of Allied Health Education, epub. Volume 141. A list of 520-plus professional association websites at thecampusscarercoach.com/professional-associations.